Hello everyone, good to see we have a lot of intelligent looking people in this room today. So, by show of hands, how many of you have spent your hard working money and put it towards an organization? Good to see a lot of hands go up. Yes. So obviously you work hard for your money. You're going to want to go towards a good non-profit, mainly organization, right? Non-profit, so therefore all of your money goes towards the people in need. So who here has heard of Shannon's Dream? Right? Yeah, not a lot of people have heard of Shannon's Dream. So here I'm here to shed light on one of the best organizations in Canada. Shannon's Dream is an organization that is dedicated to making education better for all Indigenous and First Nations children. Shannon Kustachin, the face of the organization, went against her own government to battle for herself and everyone else living in Attawapiskat and bordering cities. The citizens of Attawapiskat state the conditions of their local school were so horrible, children would not attend. Shannon Kustachin started the very first organization to help the students that were trying to successfully attend safe and reliable schools. Shannon's Dream influenced Indigenous communities to shed light on the struggle of Indigenous and First Nation children going through every day. She helped them receive the same education and the same educational opportunities as all other Canadian students have. Shannon used her hard-working characteristics against the government to create a successful organization that will always continue to succeed in the future. Shannon's Dream may not be commenced by herself, but it was based off the goals of Shannon Kustachin. Shannon began her life in Attawapiskat, which is northern Ontario, a small town with a population of under 5,000 people, which evidently means that this organization could easily go unnoticed by the government. Shannon was described as strong, determined, and a loving girl. She was never afraid to speak her mind. She always carried a fighting attitude with her. Shannon Kustachin attended JR Elementary School, the local school in Attawapiskat. Therefore, she experienced the horrible conditions herself. She was 13 years old when she began protesting for a new school. At that young of an age, she began a movement. Shannon Kustachin became a household name in Attawapiskat and surrounding cities. She was the face of a movement that ensured proper education for Indigenous and First Nations children. She wanted to get fair and equal educational opportunities for all students in Canada. Unfortunately, Shannon did pass away on June 1st, 2010, during a car crash at the age of 15. Before her death, Shannon was nominated for a Children's Nobel Peace Prize and even inspired a DC character designed by Ed Locklear. Shannon's dream goal was initially just to achieve a new school in Attawapiskat, and that is what she did. In addition to much more, Shannon was not able to see the new school be built. But without her, there would not be that new school there today. J.R. Nakogi Elementary School, when Shannon attended, was told to have mold in every corner of every portable. Oh, and by the way, this school was not really a building. This school was 4 or 5 portables. Some you couldn't use this day, some you couldn't use that day. One had a hole in the floor, one had a hole in the ceiling. None of them had heat, and they were all freezing during the winter months. Kids were coming to school sick every day, with the teachers also becoming sick every day. Windows cracked up and unable to keep warm or cold air in, and desks that felt like you were sitting on rocks. The school was near an accidental diesel spill, so that was the main reason why teachers and students were coming in sick every day. Shannon took action into her own hands in 2007 when she began protesting outside of her school and getting the students and teachers involved. Shannon turned something that inspired her as a child, and she began campaigning and eventually became noticed by the Canadian government. And a new school was built for the children in Attawapiskat in the year of 2014. The organization remains to aid Indigenous schools in Northern Ontario. Shannon's Dream aims for schools that are in bad conditions and go unnoticed by the Canadian government. The organization has currently 13,541 supporters, hopefully more after this, on their official website, and an office building in Attawapiskat, Ontario. The new and improved Nakogi Elementary School still stands strong and is one of the best schools within the few bordering cities. The goals of Shannon's Dream may be big, but that does not mean they are unachievable. The organization has been working on multiple schools recently and is going to continue in the future. And hopefully eventually gets the Canadian government to put more money towards the Indigenous and First Nations schools. They are very deserving of it. It's unfair that some kids can't get the same educational opportunities that other kids get. To conclude, the goals of Shannon Custachin were achieved. The organization is now going above and beyond to help Indigenous and First Nations children get the education they deserve. Shannon herself may not have been alive to witness it, but her spirit still rests within her family as they strive for betterness in the Indigenous and First Nation communities. Shannon's determination defeated an entire government, helped an organization from helping just one single school to helping multiple schools, and keep that organization running and successful in the future. Thank you all for listening. My name is MacDonald. If you have questions after the presentation about this organization or how you can get involved, please contact fncarengsociety.com/Shannon's-Dream.